What's up, everybody? It's your boy TGK back with another reaction video. Today, we're going to react to a video talking about Luka Doncic by BasketballReach. So you already know, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all don't mind dropping a like, consider subscribing, all that good stuff for this channel as we're trying to grow. We're trying to grow here, man. Take a quick little second to like the video and let's get it started, man. So, like, you know how I like to say, enough for the fluff. Let's get to the stuff. All right, again, this video is titled, "You Cannot Make Up What Luka Doncic is Doing Right Now." This video is by BasketballReach, YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Luka Doncic just had against Golden State or better was Michael Jordan. And the complete list of players...
Oh, my fault. It's like a second delay there. All right, let's go.
The only player to achieve the stat line that Luka Doncic just had against Golden State or better was Michael Jordan. And the complete list of players in NBA history to record a 45-point, 10 rebound, 10 assist, 2 steal, 2 block game was Jordan in 1989 and Nikola Jokic in 2022. That's it. Luka Doncic is absolutely back, and that's helped the Mavericks to go 8-2 over their last 10 games. In this time, Dallas had the best offensive rating in the league, putting up a scorching 124.9 points per game, and these unbelievable numbers have a lot to do with Luka Doncic. Luka had a rough start to the season, struggling with poor shooting splits of 42% from the field, 32% from 3, and 79% from the free throw line. It's
crazy. When I was saying these things in the beginning of the season, I was getting killed for it. I was getting killed for like pointing out how inefficient Luka was at the time. And you know, I don't say things to trash players, you know, I just point out the obvious. And I remember when I was pointing this out, man, the amount of pushback I was getting, bro, it was hilarious. I'm just like, damn, like I can't even say or share my opinion or give you like facts because people will take things personal, man. It's crazy, but I'm glad Luka's back to normal, bro. I really am.
It's one thing to be struggling with your shot, but it's another thing to continue to hoist up as many shot attempts as Luka Doncic did.
I was saying that
led to an inconsistent start to the season for the Mavericks as a whole. However, when Luka sat out for a brief period of time due to a wrist injury, something surprising happened. Dallas started winning. They secured 2 major wins against the Denver Nuggets and OKC Thunder, showing that they could succeed without their star. But these wins highlighted a crucial point. For Dallas to reach its full potential, Luka needed to adjust his play style. The message was clear. Doncic had to move the ball more, take smarter shots, and play at a faster pace. Since returning from injury, he's averaged an impressive 30.8 points, 10.7 rebounds, and 9.3 assists, while improving his shooting splits to 53 from the field, 42% from 3, and 73% from the free throw line. As a collective, the Mavericks have been red hot offensively, which
isn't it crazy when your main guy that takes the most shots is actually efficient? It changes everything. It makes everything change. Like Mavericks Digest says, this changes everything. It changed everything, bro. It changed everything for the Luka narrative. It changed everything for the team because they were winning while he was hurt. And now it just, you take off like a rocket, bro.
Which is because of how they're running their offense. Last season, Jason Kidd wanted them to change their offensive system to see if he could get this team running the ball more often, even in semi-transition. At first, it looked good as the Mavericks earned a playoff spot, playing great basketball to end the season. But once Luka came back with injuries, they were unable to run as much, which made them less effective. However, they were still able to make the NBA Finals, but they clearly weren't the same team before the injuries. But fast forward to now with Luka healthy, and they've been able to get back to their best as of late. This season, the Mavs are ranked 10th for pace, which doesn't sound like a dramatic improvement, but when you compare those numbers to the 2023 season before the team made the changes, they ranked as the 2nd slowest team in the entire league, rated 28th overall. Being a fast-paced team doesn't mean sprinting the floor every time you get the ball, like the Showtime Lakers or last year's Indiana Pacers did, but what it does mean is getting your shots off earlier in a shot clock to then give you more shots in an overall game. Because of their scorching hot offensive system with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, Jason Kidd knew exactly how they needed to play, and that was with a faster tempo to allow them to get up more shots to then beat teams, and that's exactly what they've done this season. With Kyrie averaging 23.9 points on their 50-40-90 shooting, he has been terrific. And with these two guys scorching hot, that then gives open looks to Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, and Najee Marshall, and they've been knocking down three balls at a good enough clip. So their offense...
You know what's crazy? I might have to do another video on this one. You know what's crazy? Over the last 14 games, I think Luka, PJ, Klay, Grimes, Kyrie, Najee, and I think Spencer. I think maybe Spencer. At least 7 players, at very minimum, at least 7 players on the Mavericks are shooting the three-point ball at a 40 or greater percentage. You got 7 players right now over the last 14 games are shooting the three-point ball at 40% or better. That's insane. Just wanted to point that out. It's crazy when everyone's efficient, how great you could play, regardless of team.
Offense is currently the best in the world, but it's their defense that leaves a lot more to be desired. On the season, Dallas have the 11th best defense in the league, which is actually very good. However, over the course of this 8-2 winning streak, they haven't been nearly a good enough defensive team to win a title, falling to the 26th worst defensive rating in the NBA, which is horrible. But because
I agree and disagree. I think our defense hasn't been that great. I agree with there. And I don't know why. Our defense has been pretty bad lately. So hopefully we get that turned around. But as far as being a championship level defense, I mean, when no one was efficient, we were still like top 5, top 6 defense. And then now we're back to having like real efficient offense, and our defense has taken a hit. So eventually something's got to balance out, right? Like you're a top offense, your defense is top 11. How can you get your defense top 10 and make your offense, keep your offense at what it is? That's going to be the thing for Jason Kidd to figure out, which I don't want that job right now. But I wouldn't go as far as saying they don't have the makeup for a championship. They literally were there last year, and they got better this year. And they showed that they could be a top 5 defense for a chunk of this season. So let's see what happens.
Because of the fact they've been scorching hot, they've been able to still win these games. Take the game versus Golden State, where even though they had a dominant win, they still gave the Warriors every chance to win the game themselves by allowing 4 Warriors to score more than 20 points, one of those being Draymond Green. But despite all of this going in the Warriors' favor, it still never really felt like a close game. Even though Golden State made a late push to get it to 5 points,
that's crazy.
It didn't matter, as Dallas made enough buckets down the stretch to keep Golden State down. Dallas just put up 143 points on the 4th best defense in the NBA, and they did it with ease, led by Luka's outstanding 45-point triple-double. When Luka was out with a wrist injury, it seemed like Dallas found their groove, and it was a big question mark whether they would stay as good when he came back, or if they would revert to some of their bad habits with Luka back in the side. But it seems like those concerns have been answered for the most part. Their offense is world-class, and Luka's back to being an MVP candidate once more, while buying into a faster offensive system, which involves a lot of ball movement. I've got Dallas as the 2nd best team in the Western Conference.
Let me turn this video off. Look, I get it. I get everyone loves the OKC Thunder, and I get it. They get that respect, but y'all gonna have to start putting some respect on the Mavericks, bro. I'm tired of y'all just anointing the Thunder as the best team in the West when this was the team that we eliminated last year convincingly, you know? And this is the same team that lost to the Milwaukee Bucks because they had no one to guard Giannis. They have no one to guard PJ Washington or Luka Doncic. So, but yeah, man, I just need people to give my Mavericks some more respect, bro. 2 ain't good enough for me. 2 ain't good enough for me. Until OKC can eliminate us from the playoffs, we number 1.
Right now behind the OKC Thunder, as I believe they're good enough to make it a real battle in a 7-game series and even beat them like they did last year. But we did see this not go their way in that matchup only a week ago, where the Thunder dominated them with their unbelievable defense.
I don't put too much weight on that game. I don't. And nor should anybody. Do we put enough weight on the game where we won without Luka Doncic? No one talks about that one. They always want to talk about the most recent one. I get it. And when we play them again and when we win again, what are people going to say? Are they still going to say OKC's better? Like, you already know how it goes, man.
Holding Luka to an inefficient 16 points on just 5 of 15 shooting. However, Maverick fans were quick to point out that they were missing their Thunder killer, PJ Washington. And usually when a fan base says they lost because they didn't have a role player, it's not a valid argument. But when it comes to PJ Washington and the Mavericks' success, they've often come hand in hand. And the numbers back that up as well. So far, Dallas have a 1-5 record without PJ Washington, and that's due to how he unlocks this team when he's on the floor. Not only is he a solid defensive player, but he's also able to stretch the floor at that 4 spot, which completely opens up both their offense and defensive game at the same time. On the
Yeah, I agree, but I'm put it like this. For the fans that did say we didn't have PJ against OKC, that is just a crap excuse for us. They didn't have Chet Holmgren, right? They didn't have Chet Holmgren. So we were basically kind of even, and we still lost. So I'm not making that an excuse, but also that loss don't really mean much in the grand scheme of things. I still think the Mavericks are better. Let's continue.
defensive side of the ball, he's been able to pick up more of the slack now that Derrick Jones Jr. is gone, as PJ Washington has the length and athleticism to stay with guys on the perimeter and down low. But to me, it's the offensive side of the ball that makes him so valuable. His offensive versatility always stands out to me when I watch Mavericks games, as he's able to not only knock down a 3-ball, which he's currently doing at a 37% clip, but he's also able to get into the lane using his highly underrated handles, where he can either score the ball with a floater or spray it out for a better look. You do have Luka and Kyrie, but when you're able to give the ball to PJ Washington at the top of the key to allow Luka and Kyrie to play off ball, it makes this offense so dynamic. The numbers speak just as loud as the eye test, as Dallas simply haven't been good without PJ Washington this season. Now, do I believe they could still contend for a championship even without PJ Washington? Yes, undoubtedly, but it would make it a much tougher task in my opinion. All of the numbers point to Dallas being a sleeping giant in the Western Conference, and when we look at
why are we a sleeping giant, you know? Why are we looked at as a sleeping giant? It's crazy. We're not looked at as a team that made the finals. We're looked at as a team that's like, oh, you know, they're good. They're good. Can they make the playoffs? They're good, though. Can they make the second round? That's how they look at us like.
Look at all of the requirements for a modern championship team, the Mavericks tick all the boxes. They have the ability to perform at a top 10 level on both sides of the ball, as I expect their defense to get much better as the season goes on, similar to what happened last season. While on the offensive side of the ball, they're evolving into a team that's simply unguardable. By putting PJ Washington at the forefront of some offensive possessions here and there, that makes them so hard to stop. Actions that have PJ Washington handling the ball in the pick and roll situation with either Lively or Gafford have proven to be so dangerous, as not only does this put so much pressure on the rim, but it also leaves Luka, Kyrie, and Klay to space the floor, giving an opposition defense an impossible decision. Allow an easy paint attack either by PJ finish or an alley-oop to Lively or Gafford, or leave a quality shooter like Luka Doncic with space to operate. This really is a pick your own poison situation.
Yep.
If the Mavericks can implement this more often, or even for multiple possessions in a row, to throw a curveball at an opposition, this just ups their ceiling as an offensive team even more. They also have their MVP caliber player leading this team, which has also proven to be important over the last couple of years, while they arguably have the second best option in the NBA right now, with Kyrie Irving having an incredible year shooting the rock. With multiple proven scorers and one of the best three-point shooters in NBA history, this team is not easy to guard down the stretch of a tight game, as you can't really send a double team to anybody without giving up a high percentage look for another player.
Please do. Please double. Please double.
Making the Dallas Mavericks a force to be reckoned with in the Western Conference. But these are just my takes. How good do you guys think Dallas is among their competition out in that Western Conference? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments section below.
Cool. Basketball Reach, ladies and gentlemen. Basketball Reach. Y'all go check them out. Sub to their channel. That's some good stuff right there, man. A good little think piece. I look at these videos like a think piece. Maybe I need to do think pieces, you know? But yeah, I have to consider that. Sylvester. That's the homie right there. Anyway, if y'all enjoyed that, man, definitely leave a like on the video. Consider subscribing. All that good stuff. I think the Mavericks, they're on the way, man. They're already like figured it out. Now they just got to get healthy, and they just got to keep getting these W's and keep adding W's to the win column, those digits to the win column, and trying to get that top seed and get that MVP for Luka, get that Coach of the Year for Jason Kidd, get that GM of the Year for Nico Harrison. Anyway, man, been your boy TGK. Appreciate y'all watching. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. We out.